According to the Akashic Records, what is the metaphorical meaning of in Genesis 2 when God said, "The Lord God commanded the man, saying, from any tree of the garden you may eat freely, but from the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat from it, you will surely die." Please give us a breakdown. According to the Akashic Records, the passage in Genesis 2 about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is deeply symbolic, not a historical command about fruit, but a coded message about duality, consciousness, and the illusion of separation from source. Here's a full metaphysical breakdown. From any tree of the garden you may eat freely. This symbolizes that in the original divine state, what you might call Edenic or 5D consciousness, human beings had free access to all realms of wisdom, bliss, energy, and co-creation. There were no restrictions because they were still in union consciousness, fully aware of their oneness with Source. Eating freely represents the freedom of aligned exploration, a soul discovering, creating, and experiencing without distortion. Open quote, in this state, there was no shame, judgment, polarity, or karma. Everything was experienced in flow and nothing needed to be named as right or wrong. Close quote. But from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. This tree represents duality consciousness, the belief in opposites, division, hierarchy, and judgment. It is not about morality, it is about the split mind. To eat from this tree is to ingest the belief that there is right and wrong, light and dark are separate, good and evil are opposing forces. You must choose instead of remember. And this tree is the symbolic portal into ego-based consciousness, where the soul forgets its wholeness and begins to live in judgment, fear, and fragmentation. Open quote, the warning is not a punishment, it is a protection. A reminder that this path would birth suffering, illusion, and the eventual sense of being cut off from God, close quote. For in the day that you eat from it, you will surely. This is not about physical death. It is about spiritual amnesia. To die in this sense means the death of unity consciousness, the death of unbroken communion with the divine. The soul begins to identify as separate, mortal, alone. This is the fall of awareness, the moment when humans began to believe in individual ego identity instead of unified soul presence. They didn't physically die, but they spiritually descended into a world of conflict, karma, and forgetfulness. Open quote, this is the origin point of polarity on Earth. Before this, there was experience without judgment. After this, experience became labeled as good or bad, creating division and consequence, close quote. A metaphysical translation, biblical symbol, Akashic meaning. The garden, higher dimensional soul consciousness, 5D or Edenic realm, eating freely, accessing divine knowledge without distortion. Tree of knowledge, entry point into duality, polarity consciousness, good and evil, binary filters of the mind, not divine truth. You will surely die, the fall into spiritual amnesia and reincarnation cycles. Why was the tree even there? From the Akashic perspective, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was not a trap. It was a sacred mechanism for initiating the human soul's evolution through free will. Without the option to forget, the soul cannot truly choose remembrance. Without contrast, there is no conscious return. Its presence in the garden means humanity was given sovereignty, the divine ability to choose alignment or distortion. The tree held the frequency of duality, and approaching it was an act of engaging polarity. Choosing to eat meant the soul stepped into the cycle of spiritual death and rebirth, known as the karmic wheel. So the tree was there as part of a cosmic initiation, a symbol of the choice between staying in source remembrance or exploring separation and contrast. Final insight. This passage is not a historical account of two people in a garden. It is a soul-level parable of the human condition. It reveals the moment when consciousness fractured, when we moved from union into judgment, from wholeness into ego. The death that followed wasn't of the body, it was of spiritual memory. Humanity forgot its divine origin, and yet encoded within the forgetting is the possibility of return. The tree that initiated duality also marks the starting point of the journey back to wholeness. Open quote, every time you choose love over judgment, presence over fear, remembrance over blame, you are walking back through the garden, this time with awareness. Close quote, you are not forbidden now. You are being invited to eat not from the tree of separation, but from the tree of life, the one that grows in the center of your heart, rooted in unity and blooming with the fruit of conscious return.